What up, guys? Back again with another UFC Fight Picks video on the UFC Fight Night card, Cowboy versus Medeiros. Let's go ahead and get started here on the Fight Pass prelims. First fight of the night, we got Oscar Picciotto versus Tim Williams. So not too familiar with either of these guys, but I mean, I'm going to go ahead and take Oscar Picciotto on this one. Seems to be the better striker, looked good in his UFC debut. Tim Williams hasn't made his UFC debut yet, and I feel like Picciotto is probably the better striker of the two. He's also, I think, he's not the biggest favorite on the card, but he's tied with Morono for the biggest favorite on the card at -300. So yeah, I mean, he's the betting favorite for a reason, I mean, and I think he gets it done on the feet, and we already know he's good on the ground also, and he's a finisher. So yeah, I see Picciotto winning this fight. I see him getting a finish. So I'm going to say Picciotto, maybe second round knockout. And next fight here on the Fight Pass prelims. This is the featured fight. We got Joshua Berkman against Alex Morono. Let's go ahead and open up their pages here real quick. So man, Berkman's a fucking veteran, and I'm kind of still surprised he's actually still in the UFC. He's, first of all, he's getting older, 37 years old now. He's pretty damn old now. And I mean, right away, right off the top right there, you guys can already see the losses right there on his record. He hasn't won a fight since early 2016 against KJ Nunes, and that guy, they cut that guy also. I mean, and look at that shit. I mean, all you see is losses and losses right there. Yeah, so pretty much ever since he came back to the UFC, he just, you know, he's just been losing. Just hasn't been looking good. He tried cutting to 155 pounds. Hasn't looked, I mean, didn't look good there either. Against Dober, he gets knocked out. Ferreira, he gets tapped out in the first round. And this guy was kind of known for, you know, being durable. And now he's getting older, and obviously, as you guys could tell, I mean, he's getting finished now lately, so not looking good for Berkman. And here we got Alex Morono, coming off a split decision loss to Keita Nakamura. It was a close fight. You know, I guess it could have gone either way, but I think Morono should have won that one. Against Nico Price, that was a no contest. Man, before that, he had a couple wins there right there against Muntazri, I mean, and Kyle Noke. So yeah, this guy's not the best guy, but you know, he has good boxing combinations, good volume with his striking, and I think he has a good enough ground game. I think he's a brown belt or black belt. Let me check. Yeah, BJJ black belt, Taekwondo black belt. So I mean, he does have a ground game. It's not like he's like, you know, a bum on the ground or anything like that. So Berkman, you know, I think Berkman's path to victory is going to be, you know, trying to wrestle Morono, and I don't really see it happening. So yeah, on the feet, I think Morono just lands too much output, too much volume, and I think he gets the win here. I think it's going to be a pretty convincing win. We could see a finish. Like I said, Berkman been getting finished lately, even though now he's back at 170. He should be a little bit more durable, but I still think Morono here, you know, I think he has enough power and enough, you know, enough boxing combinations and volume to get that finish. So I'm gonna go ahead and say Morono, third round knockout. All right, next fight here on the FS1 prelims, we got Cerrone versus Lucy Pootle. So let's go ahead and open up both of their pages here real quick. Alright, so we got Sarah here coming off a win against Ashley Evans Smith. Gets a first round submission win. That was a big surprise. She was you know, coming off a really long layoff, and she actually gets a win against, I would say, you know, a decent opponent. So yeah, I mean, that was good that she got the win there. Did not really see that happening, actually. I mean, I didn't see her winning in the first round, that's for sure. But then you got Lucy Pootle here, coming off a good win against Ji-Yeon Kim. Before that, she loses a very, very close fight against Lena Landsberg. I think a lot of people actually thought Pootle won. But yeah, she has good striking. I like Pootle's style, good striker. Lots of volume, and I like that. Sarah Mora's, her striking's not that great at all. She's just primarily just a grappler, and I think Pootle, I think her take on the fence is good enough to keep it on the feet. Obviously, Munhoz is able to get her down on the ground. She might be able to do some damage there. But I think Pootle is going to be, pretty much able to keep it on the feet here. So I'm going to go ahead and pick Pootle. She's a small favorite there, -161. Yeah, I see her just beating Munhoz up on the feet and stopping the takedowns. So I'll take Pootle by decision. All right, next fight, Roberto Sanchez versus Joby Sanchez. So we got two Sanchez's here. Let's see Roberto's page. This guy's a jiu-jitsu guy. Got tapped out in the first round, even though this guy is supposedly the jiu-jitsu guy, against Joseph Morales. So he got tapped out quickly in that fight. Didn't look that great either. He looked pretty stiff. Joby Sanchez, he looked good in the Tuesday Night Contender Series. Was winning the fights. Seems to be well-rounded. Pretty much just, decent everywhere. I think he's a wrestler also, or he, used to wrestle or something like that. It says right here, New Mexico Wrestling State runner-up. Yeah, so this guy, does have some wrestling, which is going to help to stop Roberto Sanchez's takedowns. I don't think Roberto could stand with Joby on the feet. So yeah, I just pretty much see this fight playing now as Sanchez going for takedowns, Joby stuffing him, and Joby beating him up on the feet. So I'm going to take Joby Sanchez. And since it is a flyweight fight, more than likely it goes to decision. So I'll take Sanchez by decision. Next fight, Geoff Neal versus Bryan Kamoze. So we got Geoff Neal coming off that Dana White show. Looks like he's explosive. Looks like he got power. I think his fight was at 185. Now I guess he's cut down to 170. Because yeah, he wasn't really a big 185 anyway. And now he's gonna fight Bryan Kamoze, a guy who's been getting finished so far in his UFC career. Hasn't won yet in the UFC, and this is pretty much an opponent to kind of make Neal look good. Pretty much, you got Neal at -215. Pretty much everybody thinks Neal's gonna get the knockout, and I see it happening also. As long as he doesn't gas out, I think he should be able to get the KO against Bryan Kamoze. As you guys can see, also Kamoze doesn't really attempt any takedowns, and I would think that maybe be some sort of weakness for Neal. So I can't see Kamoze out wrestling him. It's gonna have to be on the feet, and on the feet, you got to think the guy with the heavier hands, more explosive guy, is gonna be able to get the knockout here, or get the better of the striking. So I'll take Geoff Neal here in this matchup, and I do see him getting a knockout, second round knockout. If for some reason Neal isn't able to finish him, then you never know. Kamoze could somehow rally back and maybe get a win, but I mean it's kind of a long shot. So yeah, I'll stick with Neal, second round KO. All right, now for the featured fight on the FS1 prelims, we got Jared Gordon, a guy who's been really good in his UFC career so far, fighting against Diego Ferreira, a guy who hasn't really fought in a while, I think. And yeah, let's go ahead and look up their pages here. You got boxing and cardio on Jared Gordon. He's been looking great, man. Against Halcon Diaz, I mean, he looks solid there. Look at that. Look at this guy's strike output. 101 significant strikes and 2 takedowns. Against Michel Quinones, he gets a second round knockout. Halcon Diaz is a veteran also, and he was able to put him away. Well, I mean, actually, he didn't knock him out, but he was able to win the fight, dominate him. Diego Ferreira, this guy's a BJJ guy pretty much. Coming off a win against Oliver Aubin Mercier. Before that, he gets knocked out against Poirier and loses to Dariush. So it seems like this guy loses to high-level guys. And I don't know if Gordon's a high-level guy yet, but he's been looking good. But I do think Gordon is going to be good enough to stay away from the submission game from Diego. And I do also think he has the better striking and way more better striking output. He has more than double his output. So I see Jared Gordon just pretty much using what he always does, to win his fights, using his pressure, his cardio, and all that, to pretty much get the win here. So yeah, I like Gordon here in this matchup. I think his pressure is gonna be too much. So I'll take Gordon to win. We could see maybe like a late finish or maybe a decision win, but I'll go ahead and just say Gordon, third round knockout. All right, now we're on to the main card, guys. We got Sage Northcutt versus T-Ball Gotti. Very easy fight to pick. I'm gonna go ahead and take Sage Northcutt in this matchup. I just think he's the better striker here. He is almost 3-1 favorite. Gotti's not that great. Has not looked too great in his UFC career. Opening up his page here. He did get that first round KO win against Andrew Holbrook, a guy who has no chin. And yeah, he knocks him out in the first round, right? Because, well, Holbrook has no chin. Before that, this guy's getting finished himself. Gets knocked out against the Priest in the first. Olivier taps him out in the third round. Against Timu Packlin, he gets also tapped out in the first round. So this guy's been getting finished himself. Pretty much it seems like if this guy's not getting a finish, then he's getting finished. So, I mean, either Gotti somehow gets a knockout here, probably late in the round, which I don't see it happening, or Northcutt knocks him out, which is the most likely scenario here to happen in this matchup. So, I'll take Northcutt. I think he's just too fast. He's too explosive. We know Gotti can be knocked out. And yeah, Northcutt's weakness have been primarily, you know, guys that could out wrestle him and take him down easily. Gotti is not really a grappler at all. Hasn't even went for a takedown yet in his UFC career, according to his takedown average anyway. And yeah, I can't really see, you know, Gotti all of a sudden starting to wrestle. So I'll take Sage Northcutt. I think he gets a knockout, probably first or second round. I'll say second round knockout. Next fight, we got Peterson against Brandon Davis. So we seen Brandon Davis not too long ago against Kyle Bochniak. Man, I picked Brandon Davis, and I thought he was going to look good, and he looked bad. I didn't think he looked great at all in that fight against Bochniak. Bochniak fought a great fight, but, you know, I was just not impressed at all with Brandon Davis. So just for that, I mean, I got to pick Steven Peterson here in this matchup. First of all, he fought a close fight against Benito Lopez, I think it was. A good striker. And, you know, he didn't look that bad in that fight. He has heart. He has good striking. He has a good chin. And he could also go for the takedowns. And we've seen Brandon Davis' weakness seems to be the ground game. Bochniak, you know, going for those takedowns and stuff like that. So I think Peterson here has a good shot of winning this fight. And I don't know why Brandon Davis is such a big favorite at -200 when he didn't look that great against Kyle Bochniak. So I'll take Steven Peterson here. He's an underdog. Not the most confident pick, but, you know, I'll just throw him in here, man. Like I said, Davis didn't look that great. All of a sudden, Brandon Davis is going to look like a straight beast in this fight, I bet. But either way, I'm picking Steven Peterson here, and I'll say Steven Peterson by decision. All right, next fight, Thiago Alves versus Kurtis Millender. So I was initially thinking, like, who is Kurtis Millender, and I was already thinking about just picking Thiago Alves. But then I look up some of Kurtis's fights, and this guy has some really good kicks. He's long and rangy, 6-inch reach advantage. He's also tall for the division. Well, for sure he's taller than Alves. What's his size we got here? Let's see. I'm looking at his page. So, yeah, he's 6'3". So yeah, he is pretty tall for the division at 170. Pretty good record. Very good striker. Initially, he looked to me kind of like an Anderson Silva, Michael Page type of guy. That's what I thought anyway when I looked at him. But yeah, he has some good striking. Really good kicks. His kicks are his best weapon. I think he has 2 kick knockouts in a row right now. And Thiago Alves, he looked good in his last fight against Patrick Cote, but then again, that's Patrick Cote. That guy was getting old already, and he was getting beat up himself. Before that, he loses against Jim Miller, another old guy, and he actually lost to him. Then again, that was kind of like a bad weight cut type of thing, but still. Against Condit, obviously, he lost. And his last win was against Jordan Mean, where he gets a kind of like a fluky body kick knockout. So, I mean, I don't know. Alves looked good his last fight, so I was thinking, man, you know, I'm going to pick Alves, right? But Millender, I mean, this guy doesn't seem like a bum. You know, he has some good striking output. Takedown defense looks decent or good enough. And plus, Alves doesn't really wrestle too much anyway or go for the takedowns. So this is going to have to be on the feet. And on the feet, I think Millender with that range, those kicks, I think he could do some damage. So I'm gonna go and just take the underdog Kurtis Millender here in this matchup. Like I said, initially my pick was Alves, and if I'm talking about DraftKings here, I'm gonna probably play both, because Alves could get maybe a finish here also. Depends how he shows up, but I think Millender here is a good underdog pick. I mean, we know Alves is getting older, and yeah, Millender's kicks look pretty solid, man. He looks pretty good, so I'll take Millender here anyway as my official pick. And I'll say, I don't know, maybe by decision. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just say Millender by decision, but I'm not gonna be surprised if he gets a knockout. Next fight, we got James Vick against Francisco Trinaldo. Kind of another type of fight where you got kind of the younger guy against the older guy here. Trinaldo's, you know, obviously getting older. He is coming off a win though against Jim Miller, another old guy. And then you got James Vick, who's been looking pretty good lately, man. He beat Joe Duffy. I didn't see that happening. It was a close fight, but yeah, I didn't see Duffy, you know, losing that fight. I thought Duffy would have the better boxing. And then we see James Vick. I think who did he also beat? Oh, he beat Marco Polo Reyes or whatever. Anyways, he beats that guy. That guy's not too great. And yeah, man, he's been moving up the ranks here. Obviously, you got him ranked at 12. So James Vick has good boxing, really good submissions. He has nasty guillotines, very long for the division. He has pretty much like a welterweight frame, fighting at 155 here. Trinaldo's getting older, he's getting slower, but I think he still has that power. And James Vick, weakness, I think, is his chin. So, I mean, I don't know if I really want to pick against Vick just because of that chin. Vick at negative 230 on DraftKings. I think I gotta play them both. So, you know what? I'm gonna go and say, yeah, I'll go ahead and say James Vick wins this fight. But I mean, I'm not gonna be shocked if Trinaldo knocks him out either. I don't think Trinaldo can win by decision. I think he's gonna have to knock him out. So just because of that, I mean, that gives it just more of a puncher's chance. So I just got to go with James Vick in this matchup. Plus, he got some more momentum. Like I said, Trinaldo's getting old now. But this could be Trinaldo's kind of like last good performance where he gets a knockout. So you never know. But I'm going to go ahead and just take James Vick here, guys. I don't know if I see him getting a submission. Yeah. I'll just say James Vick by decision. I'll say, you know, he just stays away from the power from Trinaldo, outstrikes him with the boxing, using that range, using that footwork. And yeah, I'll say James Vick by decision. Co-main event, we got Derrick Lewis against Marcin Tybura. Very easy fight for me to pick. Kind of want to stay away from picking Lewis. He's just not that great. He has power, but he's just not that great. I think Tybura here, he's just a more well-rounded guy. I mean, he didn't look that bad against Verdum. Obviously, Verdum was a higher-level guy. But, I mean, Tybura here, you know, he made it all 5 rounds. And like I said, I think he has good striking. He's well-rounded. Has some submissions also. And, yeah, I just see him just being more well-rounded than Derrick Lewis. But, obviously, if Derrick Lewis lands a big punch, I mean, it could just end the fight just like that. I think Lewis is still coming off that loss to Mark Hunt. Let me double-check. Plus, this guy was talking about retirement, so that's another reason kind of not to pick Lewis. So yeah, I'm gonna stay away from Lewis. I'll take Marcin Tybura here. Maybe 3rd round knockout, a late knockout if Lewis gasses, or by decision. So yeah, I'll just say Tybura by decision. All right, guys. Now we're on to the main event. We got Donald Cerrone versus Yancy Medeiros. So I'm gonna go and pick Medeiros in this matchup. You know, this hasn't been my favorite fighter to pick. Usually I'm always picking against Medeiros, but I always kind of pick against Cerrone also. So it's like, who do I really want to pick? But I got to pick Medeiros here. Cerrone hasn't been looking that great. He got knocked out against Darren Till's last fight. Medeiros has been looking pretty good at 170. Good power, good boxing. That's kind of what you really need to be able to beat Donald Cerrone. So I think the style matchup here, you know, is good for Medeiros. So yeah, I can just see Medeiros just beating up Cerrone on the feet, landing the better shots, and probably getting a finish here. Obviously, it's going to be a 5-round fight. So, you know, as for cardio, I got to say Cerrone probably has the better cardio here if it goes 5 rounds. But I do think Cerrone's probably going to get stopped here in this fight. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take Medeiros. I'm gonna go ahead and say probably like second or third round knockout. I think he gets it done. So yeah, Cerrone, I mean, he's still a beast, but his durability, you know, I gotta question that. His durability, you know, he's not looking good. He's on a losing streak. Obviously some people thought he won the Robbie Lawler fight or whatever, but either way, I mean, if you could put the pressure on Cerrone, and if you could be the better boxer, you're gonna be able to beat him most times. And Lawler did that. Till did that. And Medeiros, I think he has the right style to be able to beat Cerrone here. So I'll take Medeiros. Let's go ahead and just say third round knockout. Alright guys, so that does it for me for my picks. Let me give you guys my most confident picks. So most confident pick would have to be Jared Gordon, followed by Sage Northcutt, and followed by, I'm gonna go ahead and say, yeah, Alex Morono. I mean, he's not that great, but Berkman's just been getting his ass whooped. So yeah, those are my top 3 most confident picks. Least confident pick would have to be Steven Peterson. Who else? Least confident. I'll leave it at that. How about that? So yeah, that'll be it, guys. That's gonna be it for this video. Thanks for watching it. Subscribe for more. I do these UFC fight pick videos every time there's a UFC card. So yeah, subscribe. Trying to get to those 1,000 subscribers. Yeah, so enjoy the fights, guys. I might do a DraftKings video later also. Post some comments below if you want me to see, I mean, if you guys want me to make a DraftKings video. And yeah, that's gonna be it. So thanks for watching. Subscribe, and catch you guys on the next video.